Researchers at Ben's OSU-Cascades campus are out now with a new study on running shoes and injuries. Jillian Fortner visits the campus lab for a look at the findings.
Activity is really key to overall health and wellness, and the footwear that you're wearing during that activity can play a major role in how you're moving and how your body is accepting the loads.
Assistant Professor J.J. Hannigan has been studying running-related injuries for several years in OSU-Cascades Force Lab. He's one of the co-directors of the lab, along with Assistant Professor David Phillips.
The Force Lab is a biomechanical research laboratory hoping to prevent or to reduce and prevent injury, as well as optimize human performance and aging.
Hannigan's recently published study specifically looks at how footwear affects youth runners ages 8 to 14, using traditional shoes and minimal shoes.
A big difference between minimal shoes and traditional shoes is simply the amount of cushioning that's in the midsole. So you can see here with the minimal shoe, there's very little cushioning, and if I try to bend the shoe, it is very foldable.
The lab used sensors to monitor the movement of participants' limbs and joints while running. Force plates on the ground measured the impact in all directions.
They're basically big, expensive scales, and so as you're walking over them and you're applying force to the ground, they're able to measure and display how much force you're putting into the ground.
When participants ran with minimal shoes or went barefoot, they saw an increase in loading rates.
Loading rates, which is looking at how quickly an individual is loading the ground while they're running, nearly doubled or more than doubled.
Higher loading rates are generally associated with higher risks of stress fractures or plantar fasciitis. Although minimal shoes have strength benefits, he says those transitioning to this type of shoe should be cautious.
You generally want to do that cautiously over a period of time, and ideally with the guidance of a coach or clinician that can help modify your mechanics as needed to hopefully decrease your risk of developing an injury as you're, again, adapting to that new shoe.
Co-directors of Force say there's several ways to get involved with the lab. Students can come in as volunteers or take research credits in kinesiology as part of their undergraduate degree. Jillian Fortner, News Channel 21.